Hello everyone, in this video let us talk about this really cool add-on or app called Workflow Discovery. So today I came to know about this app called Workflow Discovery. It was released I think some time ago, not really a while back, but I believe it is quite a new add-on, and this add-on was or is developed by a company called Decoy IT SRO. So when I was looking at the description of this particular add-on, it says you can use this add-on to discover, search conditions, validators, post functions, properties, step properties in a Jira workflow. And when I look at these images, it is now showing me this new section or this new item under the workflow section called Workflow Discovery. And you can see here that this particular app will let you take a look at all the conditions, validators, post functions, properties and step properties that are used in your workflows. In fact, it will create this section where all these properties, all these conditions will be displayed along with the name of the workflow where it is being used. So it seems like a really good idea. I think this can be very useful. And let us take a look at the next image. So in the next image, they are trying to say that you can also use this particular app in a project by giving this particular permission called workflow discovery to a project role or maybe any logged in user, for example. So there is also a possibility to control who can use this particular app in a project. And when I also look at this particular screenshot, the last screenshot, I can see here that when you're working on your issue in Jira, on the right hand side there is a new section called Workflow Discovery, and I believe what they're trying to do, they're trying to show you for a specific issue what all conditions, validators, post function, properties and sub properties are currently being used or will be applicable based on of course the workflow for that particular issue. So I've already installed this particular app on one of my instance of Jira, and when I look at this particular section called Workflow Discovery, it seems to me that it is really useful. It can be really useful for Jira administrators when they're doing some troubleshooting. So for example, when I look at this particular section called Workflow Discovery, you have the list of all the conditions. For example, I have a condition called block transition until approval, which is being used in many workflows, along with the name of the transition where this particular condition will be applicable. So this seems to be quite useful because you have just one view where you can manage everything. You can actually take a look at all the conditions in place, in use, or that will be used in a project if you're talking about an active workflow. Similarly, you have all the validators, you have the option to take a look at the post functions. So this seems like an add-on for Jira administrators. You can of course filter this particular view based on different workflows, and you can also search by workflow name, I believe. So let us try to search by one workflow with this particular prefix called leg. So if I try to search for this particular keyword, it is not really searching. I'm not sure why. Let me try to do it again. So let me try to type some other keywords. So I believe the searching is something that is not really polished, but that is all right. I think this can be improved in future, but otherwise this particular view is not bad in my opinion. Let us take a look at a specific issue. So when I am looking at one of my issue, I have this new section called Workflow Discovery, and this particular section is now showing me all the conditions, validators, post function, properties and step properties based on the workflow that is currently being used in this particular Jira issue. So this can be really useful also for your normal users. if they know the purpose of these workflow things like conditions, validators, post functions. So overall, I think it is quite useful. And the good thing about this particular section called workflow discovery is that you can actually go to your project permissions, and then you can set who can see this particular section. So it depends on the permission that you want to give to your users. Maybe you want to give this permission to only your project managers, or maybe you want to let everyone take a look at this particular section. There is no harm in looking at this particular section here, but I think this can be more meaningful. This is usually more relevant for someone who knows the purpose of conditions, validators, and post functions, along with your transition properties and step properties. So overall, I think this add-on is quite unique, and I've never seen something like that before, and I really liked it. So I hope this video was useful. Thank you very much.